What's up, guys? I am back for another podcast in the judo parking lot. Just dropped off my man Joey, who I took him to Dick's Sporting Goods because he had a gift card and he desperately wanted these UFC gloves, the UFC style gloves, and he was there to get a basketball. And I was like, you got to show me that you're really going to start training to get these gloves. So I'm making him do boxing training once a day for 14 days for him to earn the gloves. And so we'll see if he actually earns them. But this kid goes from judo to boxing to jiu-jitsu. It's like he's the exact opposite of that I was in as a kid. I would come home and eat cereal and watch Saved by the Bell. It's pretty much my childhood youth as a fat kid. And so I just dropped him off at judo in the parking lot. Figured I'd record another podcast for you. This week I'm doing something pretty cool. It's not, the cat's out of the bag that I sold my marketing agency, Kiss Marketing, right? I think everyone knows that. I've hinted on it on different podcasts, talked about it through email this week especially. And I'm not going to go deep into, I was planning on doing a full-on podcast to talk about the business lessons learned. And there's so many of them. We'll talk about a bunch of them at my upcoming event, to my live group, to my live audience, but there's definitely a lot wrapped up into it. So I don't think I really want to get all my thoughts out and do a full deep dive, and I haven't gotten there yet. So I probably will do that at some point. But this week I am announcing the partnership with Gym Member Machine, and I had a podcast with GR that we did together and told the whole story of the history between us. But today I just want to talk about digital marketing in general and kind of why it's possibly a good idea for you to do something like this. Not for I don't believe it's for everybody. I do think there's some gym owners that have the knack of the digital side of it, and it's like really easy for them. We have a couple people in our group that they do, even when I had the agency, like they do all their ads on their own. They just do it. It's easy for them. They know how to do it. They've been doing it for a really long time. They geek out on it. And if that's you, then I would continue doing that. I do think if you get to a point where you're scaling and you got multiple locations and it becomes like a lot of work, it's probably good to outsource. But if you geek out, if you got one gym and you geek out on this stuff and you really like it, then just keep doing it. Don't do, an agency. I think that's important, and it's not right or wrong. It's all matters of what's the best use of your time. And if you could do it really quickly and do it effectively, then have at it. Now, if you're like me and hate that stuff, like logging into Facebook Ad Manager, and I love like writing copy and stuff like that, but I do not like geeking out on the tech stuff, which is honestly one of the reasons why I sold the agency, right? It wasn't my bag. The tech side of things was not my bag, and you do got to know that stuff from that standpoint. But I think for most people it makes a lot of sense, because most people aren't nerds like that, and it does take time to learn. And the reality is that a lot of this stuff is changing, and you have to be up with what's going on and what's changing and what algorithms are changing and all these tech terms and all things like that you might not have any awareness about. It's a really smart idea if that's you, and it's always been me. I've always had someone run my ads for me. And there's really three components to it, right? The first component is running your ads on what they call Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, and basically essentially pay to play. And here's why I like this. This concept to me of leads while you sleep is a very attractive thing. It's like when I go home and I'm here sitting in the parking lot recording a podcast for you, I have a Facebook ad running for my gym, for my consulting business, and it is working right now. And there was probably, as I started recording this podcast in the last 4 minutes and 50 seconds, I probably got a lead in one of my businesses, right? From just sitting here doing nothing. And at the end of the day, the only guarantee in business is that you won't keep all your clients. You're losing clients if you don't lose clients every month, you're definitely losing clients every quarter, and you're certainly losing clients every year. So at the end of the day, you do need, even if you're at capacity, you do need consistent lifeblood of leads coming in. And no, do I think you should put all your eggs into one basket and do all digital? No, I don't. But do I think it's a good finger on the glove. Do I think it's a good thing to do? Yes, I do. And for a couple reasons. The first reason is Kennedy has a line that he always talks about, which is called present bank and future bank. And he basically says is that every day you should be doing things to put money in what's called your present bank, which is the money that you collect today. Like for example, a lead gets generated, they book a consultation with you, they come in, and then they buy a membership. That money goes into your present bank. Now let's just say you also have your future bank, and your future bank is a lead is generated, they do nothing. They ghost you. They don't even answer any of your messages, but they get put onto your email list. And you email them, and then 6, 8, 10 months, a year later, they respond to an email for a 6-week challenge, and all of a sudden they come in, they take the challenge, they sign up for 6 weeks, and then they love it, and they sign up for a membership. When they generated that lead at that moment, they were put into your future bank. And so you want to think about doing things that add to your present bank and add to your future bank. And I believe Facebook ads do that. You know that with Facebook ads and Instagram ads, that only a small percentage of the leads you generate are going to come in. And I talked about this when I did the podcast with GR. If you go by the study with Dean Jackson, only 15% of your leads that you get are going to come in right away. And then the study said that the next 85% of the people that buy are going to come in the next 100 weeks. So you got to understand is that it's not this game of, oh, I generated 100 leads this month and I should have gotten 80 clients. It's just, it doesn't work like that. But what you're doing when you have this constant flow of lead generation, you are putting money into your present bank and your future bank. Okay? The second thing it does, and this kind of dovetails into the second piece of it, the second thing it does is I equate running Facebook ads all the time as like this little boat that's flying around the river that's just got a sign up all the time, or like an airplane on the beach, right? Like you're laying on the beach and the airplane keeps coming by with the signs. It's like, that's what a Facebook ad is. Or another example would be if, let's say you're on a really busy road and you have a sign out on the busy road and people drive by all the time and they just see your sign every time and over again to see the sign, and eventually it comes in. That's something called omnipresence, right? So you're just like kind of omnipresent. You're always there. And this is a really big piece of it. I think there's that rule that people need 7 to 10 times before they buy. It's probably more than that at this point right now. But what a Facebook ad does is it the best conversion rates? Hell no. It's not even close to referrals, not even close. But what it does is it's always there. It's just this little boat or this little plane or this sign on the road that's just like there all the time. And it keeps people in your top of mind awareness. But the other thing it does is this. There's a really good chance someone could see your Facebook ad over and over again, and then they don't respond to the Facebook ad at all, but they're like, let me check this out. You know what they do? They go to Google and they Google you. And then what comes up? Your website. And that's number 2, is having a good website. So digital marketing presence, 1, Facebook ads, Instagram ads are a good idea for the reasons I just said. But 2, there's a really good chance that if you're marketing on Facebook regularly, that you are going to have an uptick. I can't guarantee this, but you're going to have an uptick on people going to your website. And here's why you want this. You want this because people that typically go to your website have intent. They hunted you down instead of you hunting them down. That's what you got to understand too. When you're in Facebook, you're hunting people. Like you are like barging into that. They're doom scrolling right now. It's funny. I'm sitting in the car right now and there's a kid next to me and he's got his phone out and he's just scrolling. That's all he's doing, this kid right here. Anyway, but the people are doom scrolling and your thing pops up into their feed. You're hunting, you're barging into their life, okay? And you wonder why the conversion rates are lower, right? But with a website, now they went to Google, they typed either your name or they typed personal trainer near me. They have intent to do something about what they're doing. And that's why a website typically are going to have much higher conversion rates. But when you link the two together, man, there's a really good chance that regular Facebook ads and regular ads on Instagram are going to drive more traffic to the website with higher intent buyers. And understand this, a website, oh man, so many people screw this up. And it's funny, one of the first things I do when someone reaches out to me on Instagram and they're like interested in business advice, or like they respond to one of my emails and they want to chat on business stuff, one of the first things I do is go to their website. And you'd be shocked at how many people's websites are just broken. They're just like, I had one the other day where this website, it said something along the lines of, it was supposed to say we're not pushy or hard closers or something like that. It was say what we're not. But the website was all screwed up and it said we are pushy. Or said we are hard closers, or it said something like that, where it said the opposite of what it was supposed to say. And the reason why it said that, it was there was a glitch on the website. There was a design glitch that they screwed it up and they just didn't fix it. And I'm just like this is like someone walking into your front yard and just stepping in dog shit. That's what it's like. It's like you gotta have at base level, guys, look on your website and is it correct? Do you have the right address? Listen to this. I was guilty of this for a long time. I'm such an idiot. I did not change when we moved from gyms. I didn't change the address on the website. I didn't change it on Google. I'm such a dumbass, right? And people are like, we moved to the gyms and people are like, I can't find you. And they're like, oh, you dummy, you didn't update the address. Like, I'm so stupid that I didn't do that. But it's like there's a lot of things happening that are just so permission to play, so basic. And so if you got your website, and understand this, your website is not designed to please your wife, to please your mother-in-law, to please your own mother. That is not what your website is designed to do. Your website is designed to generate leads. That is it. You want someone to come to your website, and you want someone not to leave your website without giving you their name, email, and phone number. That is what this is. We want them to do that. And your website needs to be set up to be able to do that. It's a really important piece of this. We want our website to be a client-producing thing. And if our website ends up being a black hole, if there's too much crap for them to weed through, right? If there's too much stuff for them to look through, there's a good chance they're going to look through all the stuff and then not do anything. So you want, as GR said on the podcast, like one friction-free door. We want to try and get one door to go through, and that's what we want to do on every page, on every site. We want that to happen. So your website is paramount. They're so important. And there's a lot of crap out there saying websites are dead. It's just stupid. Right? How silly that people were saying silly things like that. Because I know my business, I mean, many of our clients' business, we were getting lots of clients through a website. Lots of them. And if you're doing Facebook and Instagram ads, you're probably going to get even more. So that's the second thing. So first thing is play the game with Facebook, Instagram, pay to play. And as GR said in the podcast, manage your expectations. Do not think that if you generate 15 leads that you're going to get 12 new customers from those 15 leads. You're just not. You do got to manage your expectations with it and understand and have this investment mindset about it, knowing that you're putting money into your present bank by the few customers that do buy, and then your future bank by generating leads that you'll be able to follow up with for the next 100 weeks. And the last piece of this is a really well built out sales CRM. We sold something called ConvertCloud. As GR said on the podcast, it's basically everyone is white labeling Go High Level at this point right now. But it's a really, and again, whether you use that one, whether you use one that's connected to your CRM or something like that, I don't care what you use. Okay. But at the end of the day, you need something that's you're going to have an organized system to follow up with leads. Because if you get all your clients from referrals and you get 3 referrals a month, you don't need this. You can write the names down on a piece of paper and you can just call them back. And if they don't call you back, you write them down, name down on a piece of paper again, and you call them back when they don't. Like, it's just, that's all you need to do. Okay, but if we are going to actively grow our business, if we're going to actively market and grow the company and generate lots of leads, there needs to be a sales department that's developed. Right. And so understand what is a sales department. You're like, oh, I'm not a corporate, Vince. What is a sales department? Well, here's the thing. A sales department has a couple roles. First thing, it has a setter. Okay, a sales department has a setter. It has someone that fields the leads, and their job is to book an appointment, whether that's with a consultation, whether that's a free session, or whatever it is. That is their job. The second job is role, whatever you want in the sales department, is a closer. Okay, and this is the person that when they come into the gym, they close them and sell them a membership. However you do it, consultation, free trial, however you do it. Sometimes it's the same person. Sometimes it's a different person. Doesn't matter. Okay, but those are two roles in the sales department. And the last thing is you need an organized system. You need an organized system, and that is typically a really well put together software that is simple, that's easy to use, that the lead comes in and they come in for a consult, you can drag it over, and then it's clean and clear so you can follow up with people, because the fortune is in the follow-up. And if the fortune is in the follow-up, we need an organized system to help us keep track of all this stuff. So that is like a big piece of it. And obviously the other side of a sales department is the system, right? What do you say? So when you do have that closer, this is too, so understand this, sales, right? Appointment setting, closing is too important to be left unscripted. If you are having a different conversation with somebody every time with a prospect, and you have a different conversation every time, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You want to have a process. I don't think you need a word for word script to follow where you're reading off the dummy cards, okay? But you need some type of a system. What questions do I ask? Where do I do the consultation? What's the process look like? You need a step-by-step system. And honestly, that system could probably be written down on one page. Like, you guys don't need these E-Myth binders to document your systems. You probably need a one-page sales system that shows you how to set an appointment and how to close an appointment. You don't need a lot, okay? But that's really the third piece of this, is some type of software. And again, as I said, if you're getting 3 leads a month from referrals, you don't need this. Write them down on a piece of paper. Get a napkin. Get a bunch of cocktail napkins. Write them down with Sharpies. You're good. Sounds cool to me. It seems simple, right? But if you're generating a bunch of leads and you're paying, especially if you're paying for leads, if you're paying money now, if you're paying Gym Member Machine to do your ads for you, if you're paying a salesperson, if you are investing money in marketing, this sales CRM allows you to not let you lose money, because things won't slip through the cracks, right? If you don't have something like this, things are probably going to slip through the cracks and you're going to lose money. And we want to get return on all the money that we're spending. So those are the 3 things. It's like ads, website, having some kind of a CRM. That's like kind of the digital marketing world, if you will. And that's the stuff that, they do at Gym Member Machine. And as I said, if you feel like it's time to pony up and have someone like Gym Member Machine help you guys, great. If you want to do it yourself, fine. But at the end of the day, I had a few different companies that wanted to buy KISS Marketing. And I went with Gym Member Machine, one, because of the track record, right? I looked into their client success stories. I looked into their churn rate. There was a lot of research I did to say, all right, because I had very invested interest in them taking over all the ads for literally the majority of the clients in KISS were my customers in Mastermind. So I have invested interest in them continuing to do well from a digital marketing standpoint. I don't want them to go to some crappy agency and all of a sudden their marketing shits the bed and they're my customers. So understand that I did the work. I did the research from that standpoint. And again, as I said, I had personal experience with GR, and I know him personally and trust him. And I think he's running a really good company. And I think he's a fair guy. I think he charges a fair price for what he does. And I think he hires good people. And they're doing good work. And again, there's a lot of crap work done in the agency space. And I think he's doing really good work. That's pretty much it. I think that if you go to the URL is join.gymmembermachine.com/Vince. Join.gymmembermachine.com/Vince. We are doing a thing this week. And for the first 12 gyms that sign up with GMM, they will get a nice chunky discount on the first month. Head over to that link if you're interested, and even just having a call with them and seeing if it's for you. But I'll be honest with you right now, if you are like a really, I don't want to say low, if you're a really stage one gym owner and you're just getting rolling and you're doing like $3,000 a month right now, it's probably not the best bet. Like, I think that right now, your best bet is to hit the streets, generate some business. I don't want the pressure of adding another bill to your plate. I think you can get to 10 grand a month on your own without this. But for many of you that are trying to do this yourself, or you're not generating the amount of leads that you want, it's probably a good option to have a conversation with the fellas over at Gym Member Machine. And hell, if you're one of the first 12, you get a little bit of break on the first month. But hopefully that helps you think through some of the digital side of the marketing. And again, I really only got into the paid ads and then the website. There's obviously social media and other things, but I like those two tools, those three tools. Here's the other reason why I like it. Okay. I think they provide a lot of leverage. Now, what do I mean by that? They provide a lot of leverage, meaning, what did I say in the very beginning of the podcast? Leads while you sleep. Okay. Your Facebook ads and Instagrams will generate a lot of leverage through generating a high volume of leads. Okay. You get leverage from a website by having a high amount of conversions from a low number of leads, and then one feeds the other. And then you get leverage from your CRM in that you are going to be more organized, and that you will most likely convert a higher percentage of people that come in because you're just following up more often because you have an organized system to do it. So those kind of three things give you leverage. They're high leverage points, which is why I like those three things. Yeah, head over to, what is it? join.gymmembermachine.com. The link is also in the show notes. We're doing it for this week only. DR is putting out that special deal, but hopefully this just gave you also some insights. Shamelessly, I would love for you to go with GMM, okay? But at the end of the day, too, hopefully this was helpful just to understand this stuff better. I think that the higher level, the more you understand this, the easier the game is going to be for you to play. So hopefully this was helpful. You got some understanding of this, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.